NASCAR Xfinity Series race officially concluded from Daytona National Speedway, and Parker Kligerman steps in to relieve for Connor Zilisch and picks up the win at Daytona, with Connor Zilisch being credited for the win. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race in Daytona National Speedway, the Wawa 250. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's talk about the main story of this race, and that, of course, is the 88 car. And that, of course, being Parker Kligerman and Connor Zilisch. Come to this race, it was announced that Connor Zilisch would be cleared to start the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Daytona National Speedway. But Parker Kligerman also got the call as well from Junior Motorsports to get behind the wheel of the number 88 car. They felt like that Parker was looking for redemption after getting disqualified from the Truck Series race earlier this year, after originally being the winner of that event. They called Parker because he's a great super speed racer and got the chance and opportunity to get behind the wheel. Now, Connor Zilisch actually originally started on the pole because there was no practice and qualifying in this event. But Connor, after caution came out for Harrison Burton on lap numbers, actually not for Harrison Burton, but for rain to happen early in the event. You had Harrison Burton, who spun out early in this race. Fiberglass, unfortunately, I think got in his eyes, I'm pretty sure. And there was a lot of damage, and metal hit the back. Caution would come out for rain, and during this caution, Parker Kligerman would get behind the wheel and step in for Connor Zilisch on lap 13 of the event. And Connor Zilisch would stick around on the racetrack and get on the pit box and sit there for the rest of the night. Parker Kligerman, early in the race, was staying in the back of the pack. He would hang out early in the event in stage number 1. There would be a caution happen near the end of stage number 1. Some chaos and carnage happened at that point. Parker was able to survive that. There was contact, I believe, between Carson Quaffle and I believe Taylor Gray as well. They all got damaged there. Off the final corner, Sammy Smith would come off the corner and win stage number 1. During the caution, a couple guys basically stayed out, including Jesse Love, Dean Thompson, and Parker Kligerman actually was restarting up front on this one. So on the restart, Jesse Love got a really good lead, and then you had Parker Kligerman on the outside, with eventually Parker getting a really good run. Jesse Love led the next couple laps, but Parker got a really good run and was able to eventually get the race lead. But then he faded back a little bit, and Sammy Smith and those guys be up front bound for the race lead. Meanwhile, Justin Ely got a great run as well. He moved up to the front to get up to the front point of this race, and then eventually Jesse Love and Austin Over starting to charge their way up to the front, and we saw some fantastic, great racing in the middle and up front as well. Meanwhile, on lap number 52, Austin Hill got a great run on Sheldon Creed to move up to second position, and he got up there and challenged for the race lead. On the final lap of stage number 2, coming to the white flag at stage 2, Austin Hill made a dive bomb to the inside of turn number 3, but he got sideways and squirrely. This would hand the lead to Justin Allgaier, who they were 3 wide, and a big wreck would trigger. Unfortunately, Sammy Smith got turned sideways. William Sawalch, Eric Almirola, Brandon Jones, Dean Thompson, Jeb Burton all got collected in the incident. Just a little bit of a chain reaction wreck that took place there. This would end stage number 2 with Justin Allgaier coming off the corner and winning stage number 2. And then all lap cars have then come out pit road, with Austin Hill winning the race off pit road. And on the restart, Austin Hill got a really good run and was able to clear for the lead. But then all of a sudden, a caution would come out for Anthony Alfredo, who stalled near the entrance. Meanwhile, Parker Kligerman and Connor Zilisch technically were still charging their way up to the front, and they were coming to the front very quickly, and they were surging back on the inside. Eventually, Ryan Sieg emerged with the race lead, got a really good run on the outside, and took the race lead. And then Parker Kligerman got up to second position and waited for the right time. But for the next 10 laps or so, he would maintain the second position and stay up there. But everything would change with 12 laps to go in the race when Taylor Gray slowed near from 17th after having a flat tire. He would hit the outside wall, come back down the racetrack, and Jeremy Clements had nowhere to go, got collected, including Taylor Gray, with Cesar Braccarella and Josh Wilkie getting damaged in the incident wreck. Just unfortunate situation. Gray had a lot of damage on his car as it is. This would take him out of contention. And then on the restart, you had Ryan Sieg lead the field from the outside, and Connor Zilisch / Parker Kligerman on the outside, and Parker got a really big push and was able to clear for the lead. But then with 4 laps to go, the big one would strike. Ryan Sieg got turned by Leland Honeyman after maybe a little bit of bad block. Honeyman gets in the back of Ryan Sieg. He comes back across the racetrack. It will collect Sheldon Creed, Daniel Dye, Christian Eckes, William Sawalch, Eric Almirola, Harrison Burton, Jeb Burton, Josh Williams, Brian Ellis, Matt Benedetto all got collected. I originally thought that Honeyman was the main factor. Ryan Sieg definitely put a little bit of a bad block, but there were definitely some big runs coming for Honeyman. He could have backed off a little bit, but when you're late in this event, you're not going to back off at that point. So I understand why people probably blame Honeyman, but Honeyman was causing other incidents throughout the night as it is. I feel for Sieg because he got a really good shot at winning this race, but nothing to show up for. His night would basically be over after a lot of guys taken out of contention. Just a big wreck at this point. That is sometimes going to happen. On the final overtime restart, Parker Kligerman got a run from the inside with Austin on the outside, and Honeyman tried to make a 4-3 wide move to the inside on the restart. That was not going to work. He basically went up to the outside trying to get the lead, and Austin got up the track a little bit. They put him in the wall, and that would hand the lead to Parker Kligerman. But Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith on fresh tires were catching Parker Kligerman at that point, and they were getting a big run. As it came to the white flag, Parker Kligerman had a little bit of a lead over Justin Allgaier to try to hang on to the race lead. Got a really, really big run as it came into turn number 1. And then coming down the back straightaway, Parker got clear of Justin Allgaier, was able to clear. As he entered turn 3, we didn't think anyone was going to get by Parker Kligerman / Connor Zilisch. And then we had contact down the back straightaway as Austin Hill and many cars ended up wrecking on the white flag of the event. The big one was strike right behind Austin Hill. Many drivers up front got collected. It would not matter at the end, as coming out the final corner, Parker Kligerman's able to hold off the field under caution and pick up technically his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series win, but because he did not start the race, this will mean that Connor Zilisch will pick up a 7th win of 2025 and his 8th career NASCAR Xfinity Series win. The reason Connor Zilisch will be put on the leaderboard as the official winner is because Connor Zilisch did start the race. He will not get any of the playoff points from it, though, since he didn't finish the event. But for Connor Zilisch and Parker Kligerman, starting off with Connor Zilisch, we didn't think that this car was going to have a shot at winning the race because we all thought this car was going to be hanging in the back all day. We weren't sure if Connor was going to run the whole race, and he didn't run the whole entire race right. But for Connor, this is a really big deal because that's another race 88 car has gone to victory lane, continues his impressive stretch in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 12 straight top 5 finishes for Connor to get it done officially is absolutely incredible. But for Parker Kligerman, what an incredible story. You think about, I talked about at the beginning of this, Parker Kligerman gets redemption. We all remember what happened. He won the Truck Series race initially. He gets disqualified a couple hours later. They appealed disqualification. They lose it. So for Parker, whose team was frustrated about it that he drove forward Henderson, this is a big deal for Parker. And I know he's not going to get put in the record books as the official winner, but I still think it's absolutely incredible to see Parker win at Daytona. He earned this win tonight, had one of the strongest cars in the field, was up front the majority of the event, was making some very impressive moves, just continues to show how the 88 car has been strong. It's just so impressive to see how good that 88 car has been this year. I do believe they lost the regular season points lead, though, as they didn't get any stage points, unfortunately, but nonetheless, for Connor, a big night for him to pick up a win at Daytona. And also kind of cool for him, too, considering he has won the Rolex 24 at Daytona in the past. Congratulations, both Connor and Parker, on picking up the win at Daytona. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the race results and again my score and thoughts in today's race, and this could change with the potential of the finishing order with that big wreck. So Connor Zilisch technically picks up the win. Justin Allgaier finishes second. A great night for Justin Allgaier. Ran up front a lot of this race, had some really strong pace and really, really good speed. Was up front a majority of the day, gets solid top 5 run in second. Great run for Justin Allgaier. Sammy Smith finished third. I think Sammy Smith had one of the strongest cars in the field today. He was really good early in the race, led a ton of laps early. I believe he won stage 1 technically in this race, showed some really strong pace and speed. One of the best runs I think Sammy Smith has had so far this season. Good to see his A-team showing some good speed. Great run for him. He finished third. Sam Mayer finished fourth. Another driver had a lot of speed in tonight's race. That 41 car was up front a majority of the event. Did get a speeding penalty. Unfortunately, they recovered and bounced back and gets a really strong run in fourth. Great run for him. Jesse Love finished fifth. Jesse Love had a pretty good car. Not as strong as I thought he was going to be tonight, to be honest. He was definitely stronger than Austin Hill at points throughout this race, but he wasn't the fastest car tonight, but he did lead a ton of laps, was up front quite a bit. He finished fifth. Brandon Jones finished sixth. How about that for Brandon Jones to score a top 10 finish at Daytona? Brandon Jones' luck at super speedways has not been very good. I think we all know this at this point. So for Brandon Jones to go out there and pick up a top 10 finish, very impressive for him. Dean Thompson finished 7th. He was pretty good tonight, ran top 5 quite a bit of this event. One of the best runs we've seen from the Sam Hunt Racing organization and team. Good to see him run up front. He finishes in 7th. Brendan Poole finished 8th. How about that for Brendan Poole, scoring a top 10 finish in 8th? Brendan had some decent speed. She was up in the top 15 a little bit. Gets a decent finish out of it. Garrett Smithley finished 9th. How about that for Garrett Smithley, getting, I believe, maybe his second or third career top 10 or something like that. Does it at Daytona again like he did back in 2018. Very impressive run for Garrett to finish in the top 10. And Ryan Ellis scores his second career Xfinity Series top 10 finish. I was wondering if he'll get another one. It didn't take that long. So he got his first one in Charlotte, comes to Daytona, gets his second one. Great run for Ryan Ellis, who got caught up in the big wreck, by the way, that Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye and all those guys got collected. He finished 10th. Great run for him. Carson Quaffle finished 11th. Despite the fact that Carson caused one of the big wrecks that happened, nice night for Carson, still finishing inside the top 15. Not the best super speedway racer in the field, and yes, scores a top 15 11th. Solid night for him. Williams Walsh finished 12th. He was caught up in a couple incidents and crashes tonight and gets a top 15 finish. How about that for William? Blaine Perkins finishes in 13th. Patrick Emmerling finishes in 14th. Harrison Burton, who had a very unfortunate night at points, got caught up in a couple incidents and still recovers to finish inside the top 20 15th. Good night for him. Mason Maggio gets the top 20 and 16th. Sheldon Creed finishes in 17th. Sheldon had a really strong car, but I think got caught up in the last crash, unfortunately. But Sheldon had one of the fastest cars in the field. We'll have nothing to show for. He finished 17th. Josh Blicky finishes in 18th. Justin Haley, who I thought was going to be a major factor, and he was definitely really good in the early portion, the middle portion of the race, but wasn't as strong as I thought he was going to be near the end. He does get a top 20, though. And Jeb Burton, who was pretty good at points, finished 20th. Joey Gase finished in 21st. Natalie Decker finished in 22nd. Nick Sanchez, who had a decent car tonight, finished 23rd. A lot of these people got caught up in the big crash. Eric Almirola finished 24th. He got caught up in multiple incidents and crashes throughout the night. Got caught up in that first big wreck that happened when Carson Quaffle Taylor Gray ended up wrecking, and that big one that happened there on 40 laps to go. And then, of course, he did get caught up in the last big wreck as well. He finished 24th because of that. Austin Hill finished 25th. I'm not sure if he triggered the last big wreck, to be honest. Austin Hill had a really solid car, but not as strong of a car as I thought he was going to have. Probably one of the weaker performances we've seen from Austin Hill, and that's surprising considering Austin Hill has been very good at Daytona and really good at Super Speedway, so that's something to watch out for going forward to the rest of the season. He finished 25th. Lee Honeyman finished in 26th. Kyle Seek finished 27th. Cesar Baccarello almost got a massive damage on the car. He finished 28th. Roger Kroof, who spun out early in the race, finished 29th. Taylor Gray, who got caught up in one of their bigger incidents, finished 30th. Ryan Seek finished 31st. Christian Eckes, who got a ton of damage, finished 32nd. Tough break for Ryan Seek, who had a fantastic car all night long. Nothing to show for it, though. Matt DiBenedetto finished 33rd. He made some really aggressive moves tonight, to be honest. He had a really fast car, there's no denying that, but he caused some incidents and crashes on the racetrack. Because of that, he does finish 33rd. Josh Williams, who had a decent car tonight, good to see him back on the racetrack. He finished 34th. Daniel Dye finished 35th. Jeremy Clements finished 36th. Anthony Frater finished 37th. And Parker Reslap finished last in 38th. Parker Reslap, forgot to mention, he had an electrical issue early in this race and didn't get back out on the racetrack. Feel bad for Parker because that team's had speed this year, but just nothing to show for it at points. He finished last in 38th. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole. Again, my scoring thoughts on today's race. The early portion of the race was definitely frustrating, and it's not because of the racing product. The early portion of the racing product, the first 10 or 15 laps, I thought was really, really good. It was the rain. I get that NASCAR can't control the weather, right? And rain was coming down. The sprinkle in this rain was hitting the racetrack. And I was really worried we're going to have a lot of starting and stopping tonight. And it looked like that was going to be the case early in the race. But once we got past the early portion of this event and had a great finish to stage one, I think the racing tonight was absolutely excellent. You had a lot of side-by-side racing, a lot of really fantastic moves. Guys could make moves, albeit there was some definite gridlock for sure. But guys could make moves when they wanted to. Unlike the Cup Series product currently at the moment, where the next-gen car, it's very difficult to get a big run because you can basically block that run. There's so much drag in those cars. You can get runs with this car, and it just creates some fantastic and unbelievable and really great racing. And I think we saw that tonight. We saw some very daring moves, some aggressive moves, and it's a shame that we didn't get the finish to go green at the end. But I think it was still a solid race, and I think especially with the wreck that happened, I think it was the right call to throw the yellow. I get that we could have raced back to the line, but I think in a big incident like that, they were going to throw the yellow in that situation. So I totally respect that. I will say one thing about the Roger Kroof and Harrison Burton spin real quick. I think I give NASCAR credit for being consistent. They didn't throw caution for Burton and then threw caution for Kroof. I'll give them credit for not throwing it there. I'm surprised they didn't throw the caution for that, but I guess since they were far off the racetrack, I guess that's why they didn't throw the yellow. But I thought it was a solid race overall, really fun to watch tonight. My score of tonight's race is going to be like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this race. It was fun to watch. It's great to see Daytona put on a great show. Once again, Xfinity always kills it when we go to Daytona. The racing was great. My score is going to be a 9 out of 10. It was a fantastic, great race here at Daytona. So that is going to be it for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Daytona. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so if I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go to below that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on tonight's NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Daytona? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Parker Kligerman and Connor Zilisch on picking up the win at Daytona. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow morning on the channel, we're going to see starting lineup video for the race at Daytona, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. You're also going to be seeing a couple announcement videos. We are expecting to get two pretty big announcements around Ram, and also expecting to hear the official driver for Trackhouse Racing's third car next. You're expecting to be Connor Zilisch, by the way. We'll also talk about Red Bull being involved with that as well. And then we should also have the Cup Series race view pending the weather, of course. Then on Sunday, we will have most likely the 2026 NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts silly season predictions dropping on the channel, and some other big content dropping over the week. We should have a NASCAR news video dropping Monday as well. We got a lot of content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Frankie Muniz, Eric Almirola, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Preece, Cletus Zafaro, Dodge, Ram, all the good stuff. Carson Quavel too, we'll talk about on the channel in the coming days and coming weeks as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.